And straight away, it's Malphite, Twisted Fate, NASA's going back and forward. Quickfire bans, as you would expect. These two teams will have researched each other so tremendously. Of course, as the games develop, they could well adjust their bans, but these currently are fairly standard ones.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary so far. The Malphite ban is a tiny bit different to what we used to see. He doesn't tend to be banned at higher level, but can be used in the jungle as well as that top lane. But a lot of sort of high priority picks, the only one that I'm still seeing that's free available is Shen.
Yeah, and you can see Zac, Rumble, and Thresh also going away. And there is Zed. We saw him banned out all of the games previously in the Meet Your Makers matchup, but you can see Zed straight away, instantly locked in there. Zac was in a similar situation earlier on this morning, but seems that Zed's going to sneak through. And speaking of another ban, Diana squeaking through.
So Diana and Zed was banned on every single matchup for, from MYM's side. They didn't let it through. Now we've seen both assassins coming in here. What this will start triggering some alarm bells for Alternate. They might think, well, do we want to give Zed in the top lane? Do we want to put Zed in the middle? Because you can almost predict that Diana to go mid. We have seen a couple of top lane Dianas, but it's very obscure at the moment. So that would be very surprising. But Diana Shen may be a possibility. Diana Varus may be a possibility. Those are sort of the go-to picks that you could think about.
The thing is, if you are going to go for Diana right now, you're showing your hand for the mid lane very, very early, and the whole team can be countered around that. Looks like it will be Shen, of course, a very popular pick across all regions, honestly. It's one of the top champions. No matter how much he gets balanced, he's still always in there.
It's just because of the power of that Stand United, that at a moment's notice you can be anywhere. He has the possibility to get 3-man and 4-man taunts. I'm thinking back to Godbro's taunts, from the playoffs, so you've got those situations. The fact that Zed was picked very early, yes, Wizards did lock in a mid laner themselves very early, but they may feel quite confident that that's going to be the matchup they're picking into, and they're going to be fairly happy with this Diana into Zed. Does have a shield, does have the ability to burst down as well.
Very confident champion picks as well coming out from Alternate. They are very quick to lock them in. They are prepared and ready. Then seem to be getting what they want so far. We do see, of course, Elise and Sona. Sona for J-Ree, champion he used a hell of a lot of back at MLG Dallas. Lulu being selected, and Varus, of course. Varus, very much the go-to AD carry. But look how quick Alternate are locking them in.
So locking in the Ezreal and Orianna, that's going to give you your bottom lane as, being Sona and Ez, and this immediately tells you that Zed's going to be up in that top lane with Elise in the jungle. Now, they could swap that around. You could have a Zed jungle and Elise top lane, depending on this final pick now from Wizards. So Alternate are going to have this decision to make. Who does Aranea want to jungle with right now? And obviously, either option will work.
And more importantly, the Elo King himself has got his Orianna, which is effectively his champion of choice. It's the champion that he went to the top with. Safe to say, he managed to play that all the time, along with Twisted Fate as well, which is obviously why Twisted Fate was banned, but amongst other things. So Twisted Fate actually carrying a 100% ban rate so far in the promotion series.
Yeah, nobody wants to deal with him. He's more difficult to deal with in terms of the damage that he can put out. At least Shen's only going to offer, I use this term loosely, only going to offer split pushing, a global shield, and a taunt. But, Twisted Fate has the ability to insta-kill absolutely anybody. And talking about the Elo King reference, for those that maybe don't know, during Season 2, Pharrell Lord was the first player to break 3,000 Elo.
I think he was the first and only.
I believe he was the only one. I was thinking back, I think towards the end, J-Ree may have just broken 3,000 as well, just before we switched over to the leagues. I believe
I know Kurt was 2,980 or something like that,
sorry. But I'd have to double check that. Yeah, but 3,000 elo on that one. And, for Lord, when he did play in the LCS for the Wolves, he had a fantastic laning phase. I remember he was playing Ari against Gambit, if I recall, and his laning phase was fantastic, but in the team fights, he just wasn't able to put the damage down on the right target. So we'll see whether or not he can do that with Orianna. Much more AoE than Ari, and obviously has the ability to game change.
But more importantly, he came at, 4 hours notice, I think, for that LCS performance. He's been boot camping with a week with Alternate, so they've been preparing for this one. Wizards, of course, doing a similar thing, getting themselves prepared for this one. What are we seeing with these two team compositions?
Well, we've got two fantastic compositions from both teams, but there are more damage threats from the side of Alternate right now.
The best of three. Alternate as the blue team going to be starting down from bottom to top, and top to bottom will, of course, be the Wizards from Spain.
So we'll see how much magic they can muster when they're facing off against Alternate right now. Early level, both teams have got pros and cons to them, but I feel that Demacian standard from Jarvan could pay dividends, as it will obviously give them that very early vision. But look at the positioning from Alternate. They had a fair number stacked up in middle, and it doesn't look like we're going to see any low-level, plays or action. This is something that we actually seen a significant amount of in the previous setup. It was just defensive, slow starts from all of these guys.
Well, you can see they're trying to get that ward placed in there, but Wizards being very aggressive in their defense straight away, not letting them have anything. So Hail of Arrows being leveled up there straight away. And we'll see, really, who is going to be where. Looking like it's going to be the 2v1 in that top lane, although saying that, J-Ree is towards the top of the jungle, so we may have a bit of rotating from Creaton. It looks like he is going to head towards the top, so they want to keep it 2v2 and 1v1.
So they want to go for the straight-up matchups, and it's going to be a matter of Mystic shots here for Creaton. If he's able to get some damage down onto the dual laners, it will obviously stick because they have the sustain. Right now, though, it just looks like a jungle slot. Everyone is going to be sharing that experience and making sure they get to those level points as quickly as possible. What we do see, though, is that at the moment, it's just a slow start.
Well, yeah, just checking out the names and seeing a little name change in there, which is just throwing me off as I was trying to get my head around them. Of course, for alternate, though, we are going to have them heading on towards the blue buff. Wizards are going to be doing the same thing. So it's going to be a 2v1 leashing coming out there. It's going to be Aranea taking away that blue buff. And it's going to be, obviously, with the help of Creaton, making sure he doesn't smite steal it. Thought he's actually going to steal it away from him then. Really,
really good start, actually, from Alternate. You know, if you look at Aranea, he's lost 0 hit points on that little start. Obviously, starting with a W, and Spider Form's going to get some HP back. And J-Ree with a good little bit of poke there onto Middy's Lulu up in this top lane. Angel has just rejoined the party now, and we'll start CSing.
That's going to be straight up 2v2. What are we seeing here? This is a fairly standard. If you think back, way back in Season 2, Ezreal Sona was the ultimate poke lane. And then suddenly Lulu Ezreal became the poke lane, and now Varus has definitely trickled his way in there and seems to become the #1 AD pick now.
So the thing that you need to keep very close eye on is going to be J-Ree's mana level. As long as he has mana, he's going to be able to heal. But look at this damage!
They say he's going to have a lot of mana. He's going to get poked right down there. Creaton has to try and get away from that one as well. Hail of Arrows landed straight on him, but J-Ree immediately Ignite coming out there from Mithy.
Now Mithy doing really, really well in that setup. Getting the Ignite down earlier in the engagement means the heals coming up from Sona are going to be mitigated for the duration. Now, all of this mana J-Ree's going to need to spend to get himself and Creaton back up to, you know, top health is going to sort of balance this lane out. And it's going to come down to who can consistently land poke better. Matroco and Creaton will be aiming their, you know, their Qs respectively to land the damage, and whoever hits more will, you know, keep that advantage.
Well, Aranea heading straight down south and looking like he's going straight in towards Cesta. There is no ward there. Actually, I tell a lie, there was ward by the blue buff, which you can see straight away. Carbono is going to come in and try and support him.
So we'll see. Carbono is level 3, so he's going to be able to get the knock up in here as the moment Aranea sees him. Very wisely, Carbono stayed just out of vision. There's the pink ward down. They've jumped on him.
Straight in towards it. They will go across. Shadow Dash didn't quite catch on. He's going to repel away straight to the minions. Will he be able to escape this one? The Ignite is running, and Curb just playing defensive duties. And Wizards coming out very strong in the early lane phases here. No ganks working for Alternate so far.
Extremely confident play there from Wizards. They were completely aware of Aranea's position, and Tesla actually baited him to stay in that lane. He stayed overextended, purposefully drawing Carbono's Jarvan towards him. Then they jumped in on top. Now, Aranea's picked a fight with the red buff. He needs to be a little bit careful of the burst damage.
Tried to land the cocoon there, wasn't quite in there, but he does sink his fangs down. Remember how strong that spider can be, and he's looking like he's winning out this duel here. The explosive spider's going to come in, and it's going to be first blood for Aranea. Absolutely dominated in the jungle.
Completely taking out Carbono there. I think Carbono missed, I believe, every single skill shot that he fired. It didn't land much damage. He wasn't able to get a knock-up in place, and unfortunately just, you know, got caught with his pants around his ankles effectively and gave up that first blood. The top lane hasn't stopped the intensity, as you can see by their HP bars.
Yeah, you can see that it is going to be Wizards. They actually took a bit of damage there. They both hit level 4 first, though. See if that's an advantage they can have over Alternate. Creaton having to be forced back a little bit here, and it is definitely Wizards that are bullying out this lane. You can see in terms of CS, they've built up a 15 CS advantage already. So
we'll see if they can maintain that pressure. Right now, J-Ree has no mana left, so the heals are going to be a lot further spaced out. And with that first blood kill, not only did the money go to Aranea's Elise, he managed to reset his double buffs. So he's going to have those cooldowns available to clear out for the next couple of minutes even faster.
You do see Creaton trying to make sure he doesn't lose any of that CS, pushed on towards his tower. Of course, these players very experienced in being in that situation, so generally they don't tend to miss too much of the CS. For Lord in this mid lane, we haven't seen a great deal of him versus Dragon so far, but you can see it's pretty close still between them. They have a little bit of engages. It looks like Carbono is going to try and sneak a peek.
One of the things you do have to look at about these mid laners is the fact that all of the HP pots are finished for Dragon, so he doesn't have that available. For Lord with those double fairy charms, he's obviously working towards the Chalice, and it's just going to allow him to continually spam spam out those spells just a little bit more. And that is why he's going to have this, call it, 5 CS advantage over his opponents.
Bono did back away from that one. Immediately the attack ball thrown back in towards Dragon. And the little fight for minions continues in that mid lane. Siege minion there. Shockwave comes out towards Dragon. Does he have enough to finish him off? The Ignite goes down, but it won't be enough.
So Ferenalor wasn't able to get another QW combo down, but while that's happening, Jarvan has snuck himself into the bush. Was thinking about coming in there. Aranea is going to try a level 4 Dragon, and the reason that this can actually work is Dragon's going to prioritize the closest target, which in Spider form is those little spiderlings. So this is a very, very brave move from Ultimate, but it's well practiced and very nicely done. Carbono is sniffing around though. He's got some vision. It's going to be a smite battle. Who's got the better smite?
Is he going to be able to come in? Can they control him? Yes, he can. He steals it, and then in comes Tesla. He's going to catch on, and it's Aranea that goes down, equaling things up back 1-for-1. Just before that happened as well, Ferenalor actually caught himself out and missed the Siege minion, and he missed quite a bit of important gold.
Yeah, so they put themselves a little bit further behind. Not only did the kill balance get, even out, Tesla now has the double buff. So that is the second time that both blue and red have refreshed and been transferred. And that's going to allow Tesla to bully Kerp's Zed a little bit more in this bottom lane.
So the poke from Jerry on towards the top lane. They're trying to keep this level equaled out as much as possible, but it's still at 15 CS difference, of course. And it's going to be Matroco winning out. Varus also always so strong in these matchups so far. On this time around. Remember, he's got a lot of experience, won Tales of the Lane over in France before, of course, so these players have been on the main stage before. This isn't their first rodeo, as it was.
No, not at all, and it's a matter of how much can they draw from that experience, learn from it, and give themselves a good setup. Blue buff just taking a couple extra hits to go down. Finally, Ferenalor picks that one up. Maybe feeling the pressure right now, feeling the, the impact of that little misplay down in the Dragon. But once those items are finished, that's when we'll see differences.
So here we go, back in the game, ladies and gentlemen. This is game 1, Alternate versus Wizards. This is a best-of-3 series to reach it through in towards the playoffs against the Giants. That will be their opposition, whoever manages to get through, whether it be a 2-0 or a 2-1. Of course, we've already seen Meteor Makers going through 2-1. They'll be facing the Dragonborns tomorrow morning. So
take a look at the positioning here for Aranea. There's a pink ward in this bush, so he knows he hasn't been spotted. He's 100% sure that his enemies don't know he's there. And it looks like that both Matroco and Mithy are overextending. Where's the cocoon? They've caught Mithy!
Mithy's straight going in. Oh, True Shot Barrage didn't quite catch, but that did. Chain of Corruption comes in just at the end there. Kraton caught out by it. Does manage to get knocked back, and Mithy, wow, he had to use his wild growth to save himself.
Creatine completely whiffed that True Shot Barrage. If that had hit, that would have been a kill for them in the top lane, but unfortunately it did not land. And when you miss your skill shots, you don't pick up the kills. So Mithy forced to ult himself and flash away, but importantly, he does get away.
He did get away, had to use everybody ultimates already burned there. We didn't see J-Ree, he went in for the crescendo, but didn't use the ignite. More importantly, he could have gone for that one. Ooh, the blue buff being picked up by Ferenalor in that mid lane, and Wizards, they wanted to get involved in that, but they're a little bit too late.
So that's an interesting one. J-Ree's going to flash crescendo, land it, but then not use the summoner spell ignite. So they felt that that kill was going to be in their favor. They felt they were going to secure it. And if you're going to go all in like that and flash ulti, use the ignite as well. Get a kill, even if it's for you, because you're going to give assists to your teammates, and you're going to get to those, ruby sightstones earlier and really help your team out as far as vision's concerned.
There's the reason you see the likes of Edward, Crepo, etc., all picking up these kills. They're securing that kill, whether
Correct.
it be for good or bad. That kill has to come in.
And of course, you deny your opponent's experience, farming, time in lane, time traveling. There's more to it than just transferring that gold to your opponents. In the mid lane, there's a fight.
There is a mid lane fight, and it's going to be the shockwave coming out. Ferenalor there is going to get pinned in there, and it's Dragon that picks up the kill. He's going to take a tower hit for the pleasure. But I was not aware that Wizards had the ability to time travel.
That was a great kill in the mid lane, managing to completely crush Ferenalor down. But well played, comboing all their abilities perfectly, and Dragon didn't even use Ignite for that.
No, didn't need to. It was a good combo, and that's really the ganks that they had to use. That was what we needed to see Aranea doing in the top lane, and Wizards showing them how it's done. And that's actually the second successful gank. I say they're successful in the loosest tense because, no, he was. Carbono was there for the dragon fight as well. That's the second one for him.
Yeah, exactly. He was involved. He picked up an assist on that one, gave over the kill to Tesla, of course. But right now, Wizards with an early game advantage. And this is something that the amateur teams that we were talking to said we needed to be aware of. We cannot count them out. We'll see if they can keep up this pressure, because once we get to the team fight stages, that's really when they need to shine.
Yeah, more importantly, for Dragon, by the way, he went for those double Doran's rings earlier on, which will set him back in builds. But because he got that kill, needlessly large rod comes out. That's pretty much equal things out straight back out there against Lord in that mid lane. Especially
depending, on the item that it can upgrade to. Well, we tend to see Diana's go for the like of an hourglass first, and that'll obviously help out against the opponents of Zed and Elise, avoiding all that burst damage. And talking about Elise, RNA has moved himself up. There's the crescendo.
Crescendo comes out, barrier straight away, but he flashes away from the True Shot Barrage Ignite. Was used this time, and there was no chance of securing that.
No, none at all. But very well played by Metraco, managing to flash himself to safety. It's not over yet though, because Dragon, he stood on top of a ward in this mid lane. He is completely unaware of this though, so Lord knows that he's there, and there goes Dragon.
Comes straight in for him again. Remember, Lord has got Shockwave available now if he can land it, and he's gonna whiff it completely.
That he completely delayed. He hesitated. He threw out the command attack. The ball was there. Dragon was waiting to be caught, and he simply did not press R quickly enough, and that meant Dragon got away. You also seen that Aranea was moving down through the river, so he was looking to get involved, but unfortunately couldn't happen. So two big ultimates missed for Alternate. That could have put the kill score 3-2 in their favor.
And the blue buff just got, I'm pretty sure
Aranea got it.
Aranea got it, yeah. Thought so, just towards the end there. So this is actually backfiring quite horribly, unless they planned that. I'm pretty sure they didn't. Lord wouldn't have come over if they did.
Correct.
Meanwhile, Kerb's getting dived on the bottom lane here, already down to half health, and Tesla's feeling pretty strong here. Has to get away from it.
There's a fight up in the top lane though. It looks like the ultimate's been used from Metraco. We'll get to that in a second.
He's going to go in there. You can see Metraco coming around. He's going to snipe down Creaton. Can they take Jerry as well? No, they can't. But it's another kill, and Wizards starting to look really strong here.
So the way that looked in the top lane, that's Metraco and Medi just going, really aggressive onto Creaton and Jayrees, Ezreal, and Sona, landing their abilities and picking up a kill. And that's unaided. That's without jungle or mid lane assistance. If they can continue doing that, it's obviously going to bode well coming into this mid-game phase.
So Alternate definitely feeling the pressure right now as Wizards push them. As the red side, we did see a number of wins on the blue side earlier on today. The red side, it'd be nice to get a win for the red side maybe, but it's going to be the top turret going down, and that will be the first turret of the game. And it's Wizards that will pick it up. Actually, I don't think they'll get it because the minions are going to clear that. They should have got one more shot on it.
Minions will deny. It's actually not the end of the world, because that's a lot of experience lost, and when you're winning a lane, with your combo, you want to drag it out. Right now, Dragon's been jumped on by Aranea, but there's the Stand United.
The Stand United comes out. It's going to be Aranea. They go through. They do manage to get the Shadow Dash, taunt him away. He's going to repel, but he's going to have to flash straight afterwards. Dragon nearly caught it, but it doesn't matter because a pancake comes out and Carbono jumps straight on him with the Cataclysm.
Manages to squash him with a big boot, but there's another fight.
Here comes Kirby's diving in. He's put the death mark down on towards Dragon, but immediately he gets wiped out as well. Carbono picking up another kill there, and now is surely going to secure the Dragon for the Wizards. There's nothing they can do. They don't have their smite available.
Shockwave is available for Lord. They might take it in, but not going to throw it. Again, too late for that ability. So, first and foremost, the 2v2 in the mid lane, or in the river rather, completely outplayed. Aranea almost got to safety with that instant flash. Really good reaction times. However, the slam dunk squash from Carbono's Jarvan obviously helped them out. Kerp then goes in 1v1, what the battle was, but there were 3 members of Wizards further up the river, so I feel like he overestimated the damage that he could put down and did unfortunately give away yet another death. While all of that's going on, take a look at the build here for Creaton. He's going to build with a Cutlass and double longsword. So if he goes Brutalizer, that's a brand new build that we haven't seen.
I felt you're being very nice there. Personally, I thought I was watching solo queue there, the way they all went in one by one. This time they are going to go towards Mythy. The Arcane Shift comes across, but the Great Chain of Corruption, is it going to be enough for Mythy to get away? Yes, it is. They turn it around. Carbono is a hero right now. Comes in, slides down, gets himself a 3rd kill of the game.
The fight's not over because Alternate won Tesla.
They're going to try and catch on towards him, but they can't catch him because, well, it is Shen after all, and he just Shadow Lashes away.
Carbono is absolutely everywhere, and the Wizards players are just playing their composition so well. We've seen that Mythy got caught out. Mythy should have gone down. He shouldn't have survived. Tesla's picked the fight with Kurt.
I'm not too sure he can take this one because now that he's got that Sunfire cape, he just can't get close enough. He has to get his items built up. Runic Bulwark's what he's going to go for. Sorry, Blade of the Rune King, rather. We do see Aranea having to use that repel once again to get away from this one. All across the map, Wizards are creating fights.
This is a 6,000 gold lead. 1 tower to 0 at 16 minutes. Wizards are in such a commanding position right now. They can pick any fight that they want and pretty much win because each of their individual lanes has effectively won out that lane.
Winning all three, like you say, it's a dangerous, dangerous situation, and it's a situation that Alternate do find themselves in. How are they going to counter this one? They're trying to keep the poke down. Freneland's going to have to see if he can carry this one through, maybe, or will Kurt be able to pull something out? At the moment, it's not looking good against Tesla, and Tesla, you can see just the pressure he's putting on him, forcing him away from the turret, and here comes Carbono once again.
He's got those boots of mobility, so he's going to be a real menace, just getting everywhere across the map, applying pressure. Right now, look at the members of Ultimate. They're trying to stack up towards this bottom half of the map. About to walk over a ward, so Wizards will have full vision. Now, the one thing that does play into Ultimate's favor, they have the ability to simply decimate single targets. Elise Cocoon into a Z, Deathmark, etc. can delete the likes of Varus off a map. They'll have to focus a little bit harder for either Shen or Jarvan, but they can do that. And if they get a 5v4 situation, they can actually win team fights. But if they don't get a pick, they won't be able to win.
Look at the farm difference as well. RNA is falling behind so much to Carbono. The fact he's got those 3 kills as well, there's a 2-level difference already between those two. And look at the gold difference. It's a 2,000 gold gap just between junglers.
That's a very, very big amount. That's the difference of the Locket of the Iron Solari that you can see right now in Jarvan's favor. So he's going to be jumping into these team fights, giving his team that very big shield. There's the Shockwave.
Shockwave on towards Dragon, but is it going to be enough? Use the defense ball as well. Doesn't really have a great deal of mana left. And now we could see Dragon. He realizes the situation. Try and turn it around there. Instead, he backs away. Stand
United was still available, so if that Crescent sweep had landed and he dove in there, you would have seen Shen landing on top of him. But Shockwave up from Freneland does not manage to secure a kill, and right now 2 members of Ultimate are going to try and pick up this blue buff.
And Freneland has to have this blue buff this time around. They can't afford to make any more mistakes. He does get it. And, well, we'll see whether that keeps him in. It does look like the bottom turret is going to go down, so that's going to be 2 for 0 in terms of turrets. Wizards really stretching a lead here.
7,000 gold advantage right now over their opponents. Those 2 towers are going to give them the ability to just roam and push wherever they want. And when you consider that Shen, as their solo laner, is doing so well, he's obviously going to be able to just split push like an absolute monster. What we do see from Creatine, though, is he's working towards the Spirit of the Elder Lizard himself. So it wasn't going to be double longsword into Brutalizer. He's going to be trying for that kite build, which is difficult to make work successfully when you're behind your opponent's AD carry.
Sonya's Hourglass almost completed by Dragon. Being very successful in that mid lane. 1-0-2. We do see Mithy coming back in again with Motroko, and really that lane has worked so well from that top. And it was Alternate that countered it. They moved their duo towards the top to really go against them, and it's just kind of backfired on them, really. They had the choice early on, but you can see it's a 30 CS difference right now. And again, we're seeing Creaton. This is kind of like become the standard Ezreal build now that he's going towards. It's something that was effectively adapted over in the Southeast Asian team in Garena, I believe, by Bibi.
Now, it's a build that works well if you manage to get an early advantage, because you can control the lane, you can kite, you get a nice damage spike early. But when you're behind, you're not going to deal the same amount of DPS as your opponents, and that's a kiting fight. You know, you want to have prolonged team battles. There is a fight in the mid lane, Aranea gets the Cocoon down, and yeah, so with that, you want to draw out team fights. And when you've got a Zed, an Elise, and an Orianna, you're not going for prolonged team fights, you're going for burst and insta-kills. So I'm not quite sure I agree with it in this case, but then again, it is a cheaper build, so you do get to hit that damage peak a little bit earlier. So we'll see whether it works out.
See whether it does work out. Tesla continues to be that split pushing pain in the backside for Kerp. He can't leave this lane at all. He's not been able to go anywhere, get those assassinations down, which is really the champion he's chosen, Zed. That's what he needs to do. He needs to be roaming around the map. We've seen Peke doing it many times. We've seen many members in Korea. Actually, it tends to be used a lot more in jungle in Korea than it does in Europe, and it tends to be the top laners so far for Europe, but it's just not working out for him either. He's been shut down pretty heavily, and it's all about Carbono. He's been everywhere on the map so far, and now we're seeing it coming out from Wizards. They're starting to ward up heavily in towards Alternate's jungle.
Out of the Wizards' 6 kills, Carbono's been involved in 5, and with all those wards that they put down, and the Dragon about to respawn, this is what they're positioning for. They have a very powerful advantage right now, about 7,000 gold, so much so that they're just going to pick a fight.
They're going to absolutely remove Forellenlord, and now the Cataclysm catches across all of Alternate there. J-Re doesn't get away with his life. Alternate's melting right now. We're going to see Dragon. Can he dive in towards it? We do see Kerp coming back into the fight. There's going to be the Stand United coming out. We do see trying to chase on towards this one. The snipe comes straight back. It's Mithy that picks up the kill, and that is a 3-0 to Wizards. Absolutely punishing the Alternate now. It is not over. Tesla goes in towards Kerp. He says, I can win this fight. Somebody back me up. Where is the rest of my team? We could have got a kill.
So the rest of the team's going for Dragon right now with 3-0 engaged. Wizards just dive all over them and simply decimate the alternate HP bars. That was a very, very one-sided battle. J-Ree hit a perfect 5-man crescendo, and as they were retreating, Kerp once again threw himself into the fray. He put some damage down, but it was never going to be enough to pick up any kills, unfortunately. But a very good crescendo from J-Ree nonetheless.
Very, very good first game for the Wizards. They're 9-1 up, and that's a 9,000 gold lead over Alternate. This is not a game that everybody was expecting. Alternate were down. They are the name that everyone knows, but Wizards, we were told before this happens, are incredibly strong, and they are not giving up here. They are proving to be incredibly strong. They are just absolutely dominating Alternate in game 1.
Yeah, there's no other words for it. They've won each of their lanes. They've won in the jungle. They've outplayed in individuals, and now they've just shown that in team fights they can win those as well. As long as Wizards don't throw away this mid to late game, they're in with a very good chance of going 1-0. But this is one of the mistakes that we see out of newer and younger teams, knowing how and when to close out matches.
We'll see whether they can. We're only at the 22-minute mark, just hitting the mid lane phase, and everybody's starting to be aggressive there. We do see the damage. Look at that on Motroko there. Just how much damage Ferelnor does have. If that attack ball dissonance does land, it can do some punishing damage. But the question is, you see, the problem is he got caught out at the start of that fight. He was gone before the fight even started.
Yeah, it was the chain of corruption that caught him out before the rest of the Wizards team dove onto them. And you know, Motroko landing that ability is fantastic. Also his build, we have to touch on it. This is the Genja-esque build. Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, Guardian Angel, and that's exactly what he's building. So, you know, if he's learning from LCS teams and making it work within his own team with that amount of CS, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we could also look at the Carbono. The fact that he's been so successful in that jungle, he's actually gone for a bit of damage as well as tankiness there. Yeah,
so he's got that Spirit of the Elder Lizard. He's had that for quite a while, to be honest, and immediately followed that up with the Locket that we've already touched on, and now he's got himself a Giant's Belt. Wizards now, they got positioning and the strength of their team to just steal away that blue buff uncontested. I'm interested to see how Carbono upgrades this. If he's going to go for the likes of a Randian's Omen, that would obviously counter the likes of Zed and Ezreal. If not, maybe going to go for, Sunfire Cave, Warmog, something like that. So interested to see what he upgrades that into.
Well, the sniper Motroko does land on Ferelnor, and that kind of tells him, yeah, you do have a lot of damage. Along with that Bloodthirster, of course, the Last Whisper in there. Now that he's got the Chain Fist, I'm guessing it's going to be a Guardian Angel coming out, and that's going to be serious problems for Alternate, because who the hell are they going to kill?
Yeah, that's the problem. You've got this insta-kill composition with Elise and with Zed, and if you can't, kill the most damage-dealing target, you're obviously not going to win those team fights. Right now, though, this is a 3-man Wizards in the mid lane. They don't have the numbers. Shen can join at a moment's notice, but very importantly, Dragon moved down this bottom lane to try and split push.
Now look how tanky Tesla's got. He's just picked up that Randian's Omen.
Yeah.
He's got the Sunfire from further on. There's not a great deal. I mean, Kerp, we haven't seen him properly getting onto someone. He can pop Motroko if he can get onto him. But unfortunately, he can't get close to them right now.
That's the problem. There's so much control from Shen, from Diana, from Jov, and from Lulu. Absolutely everybody can protect Motroko's Varus. That's before he puts in his Halo of Arrows and his Chain of Corruption himself. Talking about that Randian's Omen for Tesla, I really like the pickup. Now I'd like to see him going for something more aggressive in terms of damage, maybe the likes of a Trinity Force, because his Sunfire Cape will help him split push, but he needs attack speed to do it more effectively. So the 2-man Wizards, they found out Kerp, but they don't get the knockup.
The thing is, he knew they were there. They had the ward giving vision, but Alternate didn't really have any positioning to try and create a trap of their own, and unfortunately the split push continues, and Tesla's starting to bully down Aranea this time in that top lane. He's keeping the pressure on. They're going to try and collapse on towards Ferelnor here. They're coming across from the side. Will Dragon land? You bet your life he will, but they're not going to follow it up on it. Instead, they're going to push towards this middle turret. And look at this Ferelnor. He can't get close to this.
So that's 2 flashes burned, one in the bottom, one in the middle, just by walking up to their opponents, landing, 1 or 2 abilities. With the damage and the flashes down, Wizards just pick up a free tower, extend that gold to 10,000 gold right now, and they are just in complete control of this match.
What will they do with their dominance? That's the problem. We'll see whether they can keep on pushing back. Mithy is going to go back and buy. He's got that GP 10 items, of course, earlier on, and still no GP10s for J-Ree, so there's going to be a huge gold disparity between the supports, let alone, of course, that jungler. We did see 2,000 gold difference earlier on. Carbono with that advantage. They're going to try and chase down Tesla here, but he's not really an easy target to catch.
No, not at all. Sunfire Cape and Randian's Omen, you've seen Creatine use the Blade of the Ruin King active just to try to slow him down and then carry with a chase, but they're going to need a lot more damage than that to get through all of his armor. If Wizards want to start a siege, they do have the advantage that, Varus is a tiny bit further range than that of Creatine, but you know, they're going to have to be very, very careful about Zed in Elise's position because he cannot run the risk of being caught out under a tower.
They're having to keep 2 people as well to stop Tesla pushing that top lane on Shen, and he's definitely causing so many problems for them now. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we do see Dragon coming back in there. We do see also Matroko pushing on towards 2 of them, and they just, all across the map, we see Wizards pushing in, placing wards, getting vision. Alternate are really up against it.
Now, this is something you have to touch on for both teams in this moment in time. We're 27 minutes up. All of the solo laners or the people, the carries that meant to have CS are above 200 CS, which is very, very important to note. Because if the members of Alternate were falling behind in CS, there would be an even bigger gap between these 2 teams. The biggest disparity right now is in that jungle. 70 CS difference, excluding the Dragons, the towers, and the kills.
That's definitely a big difference, and you just look at it in terms of gold. It's 3,500 now gold difference. We see a 1,200 gold difference on the AP mid laners. The top laners, that's nearly a 2,000 gold swing as well. And the AD carries, of course, that's a 2,500 swing. And the supports, 1,500 gold. Clearly, big advantages across the board right now for Wizards.
On those solo laners, or you know, the top, the AD carry, the jungle, the money hadn't been spent just yet. So now with Dragon going down, expect Wizards to all recall, spend the money that they've got. Once they hit those next item thresholds, now they're going to look to pick a fight because Varus, Matroko's Varus will now finish that Guardian Angel. He's going to rejoin this party with that extra life in team fights, and now they're in this very, very big power position.
Yeah, we did see the Zhonya's Hourglass completed by Dragon a while ago as well. He picked himself up another needlessly large rod bunk when he went back a moment, and he continues to clear out all of the jungle. Red buff is up, that's going to go across to Matroko. And really, what are Alternate going to do? I mean, we've seen teams in this situation so many times. We saw Meteor Makers, they were in this big advantage that actually wasn't quite 10,000, so it wasn't quite that close, or 11,000 is stretched to now, but they struggled to force them down. They struggled to take that turret down. And the initiation from Wizards is kind of the same.
So it's very similar. They do have to sort of all in to actually make their, you know, their compositions work. But now take a look at this positioning here for Alternate. We've seen a blue buff turn to Baron before, and it did go a little bit slowly. If the Wizards go all in, they've got a Warmogs and a Locket on Jarvan. They've got the Randians and Sunfire, now a Negatron Cloak on Tesla, and of course the Zhonya's Hourglass on Dragon's Diana. They have got so much armor, they can dive any tower because they can survive it. I mean, even their AD carry has got 132 armor right now thanks to that Guardian Angel. So this is a very beefy, very damage-dealing centric team.
Looks like Wizards are going to position for Baron here. You can see the fact that Tesla down that bottom, he's pulled crates onto him and he's just like, well, I've got the AD carry. I mean, there's absolutely nothing they can do about this Baron.
So right now, the 4 members of Wizards will be closing this out. If at any time Alternate dive in, you'll see the stand united. There comes the ulti out of Varus, but it's mostly just for zoning. Baron has been taken.
Mithy single-handedly keeping Kerp away from that one, and Zed, they are going to go in. The shockwave does land. Dragon may well go down, but he uses that Zhonya's Hourglass perfectly. Can Kerp get on towards him? No, he can't, because the Shadow Dash was absolutely pinpoint accurate, and now they're pushing on towards Aranea. He's got nowhere to drop. He's going to have to repel back in there. He does try to go towards the back, but he goes down as well. Now Pharrell-Lord's caught out. It's a 3-for-0. Can they pick up more? They're going to chase on towards Kraton. Mithy is heading off the side. He might well be able to get in towards and get a Glitterlance down. The rest of the team can't keep up, though. He flashes for it. Nevertheless, he is going to land the Glitterlance. The Shadow Dash comes in, and J-Ree goes down. Wizards are outstanding in team fights.
4-for-0 and Baron, and not one of them dropped. In the Baron pit, the True Shot Barrage split through absolutely everybody. Aranea tried to jump on Matroko and get that Guardian Angel to pop, but he couldn't make it happen. I'm going to call it now. Giants need to be afraid.
Absolutely, this is going to be a dominant win here for Wizards. They're going to take down the inhibitor. They won't take the game just yet, but as it stands, they are going to keep going and pushing through.
So we'll see. That's one inhibitor. They're onto the inhibitor, but they haven't managed to pick it up just yet. We'll see whether or not they can actually close out this game. It's going to take a little bit more, but take a look at this right now. Tesla almost being jumped on there by Kerp Z.
Well, so everybody going to go back and buy. They've got chunks of gold. They've got kills all across the board, assists all across the board. Really, that team fight was absolutely brilliantly controlled. Dragon's Zhonya's was spot on.
Not only that, every single ability from the Wizards team. The stand united was timed so well. Once Tesla arrived, he landed the taunt. You know, Matroko on Varus, he didn't hesitate with the Chain of Corruption. He's seen Alternate coming up, and he just stepped out, dropped it, and came back to Baron. They knew that they wanted Baron first, then the fight. And this is something that, to be honest, we haven't seen yet today. This is perfect decision-making in the team fights and perfect positional play from every single member of Wizards.
Something you may well expect from an LCS team, and, well, Wizards could be that team, of course. They're looking like they're going to take 1-0 against Alternate. Can they make it 2? We will find out soon, but it's looking very much in their favor right now. At this stage, do you really benefit anything? I know this is your one and only chance, and I guess you have to wait until an inhibitor goes down until you really can throw in the cards, but this is so well stacked against them right now. They've not won a single team fight yet.
So the question you're asking is, should Alternate surrender?
Basically, yes.
That, I think, is what you're trying to get to, and it's a very difficult situation because you need to weigh off the pros and cons of your team, whether or not it's going to depress you further. If you carry on fighting and lose after 20 minutes of holding out, you cannot afford to beat yourself up about, oh, we almost pulled it back. No, if you're 20 grand behind or, you know, etc. now an inhibitor at 40 minutes, maybe it is time to throw in the towel. But Alternate, they're starting to fight out a little bit more. The Cocoon has caught out Tesla, but they've dealt nothing to him. That has barely scratched the Ninja.
They absolutely put everything on Tesla, and he is the tankiest member there. And like you mentioned, he just shrugged it off and walked away. He's going to go up towards the top, continue his split push. Wizards head down to the bottom. They're going to keep pushing down there in towards the turret. Super Minions now going to be coming down the mid lane. And Alternate, you know, they're going to struggle to get out to this. Certainly this Nest Dragon that's going to be up in around about a minute's time. There's no way they're going to be able to get involved in that one, let alone defend their base.
So what they're going to need to do is, you know, step back and go, right, this game is lost. Let's talk a little bit. Let's keep our heads calm and, you know, come into the red side matchup with an understanding of what went wrong. How do we counter Carbono's early pressure? Maybe ban out Job on the 4th. Maybe ward up a little bit more early on. And this is what they should be doing with their time, to be honest. Because this massive deficit right now and the tankiness and the damage that their opponents have, it's next to impossible to pull it back.
And it's interesting you mentioned the ban on Job on the 4th, because it's something we've seen in the LCS pretty much regularly for the last 2 weeks. It's become a standard ban, so it is a little bit surprising that it hasn't been banned out too much so far.
So in terms of the bans that Alternate did have, they removed both Malphite and Nasus from the game.
And Nasus was removed by MYM quite a lot as well.
Exactly. Now, Malphite, Nasus, and Jarvan all fill a very similar role when put in the jungle. They're initiators. They have very good ganks. Once they hit 6, they all have fantastic ganks, you know. You add the Cataclysm, you have Unstoppable Force, those types of initiations. And if you've got a roaming jungler like Carbono is, that is everywhere and practically omnipresent, you want to take those high-impact junglers away. What it then means is, what do you do about Diana? Do you just let her through? What do you do about, you know, Varus? Do you just let Matraka get him as well? Because it's not only Carbono that's doing well, it's every single one of the players for Wizards right now.
And they are starting to push in towards that mid lane. Dragon was picked up, and Wizards just stretching their lead every step of the way. Almost 20,000 gold now is the difference. Just 18.7k. It's definitely pointing everything towards the fact that Wizards are well in control of this game 1, and this does not bode well for Alternate, honestly, because this isn't a case of they got lucky in this fight, they got lucky in that fight. They dominated those lanes, all 3 of them.
Yeah, you can't say it any other way. It's a matter that, you know, those small advantages got turned into bigger advantages. Wizards have done timings perfectly. They pick up Dragon, they shop, they force it, Baron fights, and it just seems as though Wizards have, you know, played from the front in perfection. The question is, if they fall behind, let's say in game 2, do they have the ability to do the same while at a deficit? This is the mark of a truly great team.
Not a great deal of communication either coming out from Alternate at the moment. I'm looking at their mouths and not a great deal of words spoken, unless Aranea could be the vocal one. Would not put it past him.
Really? Aranea is loud?
Can't quite see his mouth right there, but they are going to back off. And they're going to continue buying and continue that pressure. Of course, you know, there's no rush for Wizards right now. They can just slowly grind this one out, slowly pull out the win, because they have complete control. And you can just see the fact that Alternate are penned into their base. They dare not leave their lanes.
So Baron has worn off on the Wizards members. That will be respawning in the next couple of minutes. My anticipation for what their game plan is going to be will be revolving around taking down the middle inhibitor again once it respawns and taking Baron. But in which order is going to be determined. Look at all the vision in and around the blue buff area, the Baron pit. I mean, there's a million wards. That's a very one-sided Christmas tree right now. As soon as that Baron spawns, if there is, you know, some misplacement from the Alternate members, Wizards will rush Baron. If Alternate try to react to Baron when their inhibitor respawns, Wizards will rush down that middle inhibitor.
Well, as has been the way all the way through, Tesla continues to shove on down these single lanes, and Kerp seems a little bit defenseless to try and prevent him. We do see positioning, of course, but he's just been dominating Kerp in that bottom lane.
So, an item has just been picked up that I hadn't even noticed being built right now. But Carbono's Jarvan has picked up a Bloodthirster.
Yeah,
this is how far he's been ahead. I missed that BF sword entirely. And take a look at this. The middle inhibitor's still down. Minions are still pushing, and Wizards just with complete control. Ultimate have no idea this is going on. They've got no vision. And they can guess and go, yeah, we probably lost another Baron. This is going to be now the 4-minute timer for Wizards to say, let's pick another big team fight. Let's tower dive and finish this game.
Yeah, they're going to have the timer on that one. They're going to be aware. You can see them looking across. And see, at this stage, like we mentioned, the team is clearly deflated. Is it doing them harm continuing on? I mean, obviously, from my point of view, it's definitely doing me harm. It is 20,000 gold difference right now.
It's definitely in discussion.
That's not even close. I mean, no, yeah, we've seen one entire game in my entire coverage of the last 3 years of League of Legends to come back from this one. It was Moscow 5 versus CLG, of course, but in that game, yes, my voice may have been trashed, and it seems to be heading that way because I'm picking up a cold. So I could be trashed by the end of this, but in the interest of keeping their team sane, and I'm just looking at their body language. There's no communication right now between Ultimate. They have to finish this. They have to get down and talk to each other and sort it out.
It's such a tough decision because, of course, these teams are sitting in this position now where, you know, the morale is completely busted. And it just depends entirely on your team and how you approach situations. If these guys genuinely pick up, let's be honest, 3 fantastic team fights in a row, aces without reply, they're back in it, but the chances of that happening are slim to none. Right now, Wizards, 4-man in the middle, 1 split pushing the bottom, with Baron buff, are sieging the inhibitor. Ultimate are trying to find an opening, trying to find somebody out of place, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Tesla, down in the bottom lane with Shen, has been able to split push, but Ultimate have decided that he's the bigger threat, and they're going to give up this middle inhibitor.
Yeah, he's drawn 2 members towards him. That gives up the inhibitor, no problem. Wizards do exactly what they wanted to do there. Mission successful. And they took half the damage off that turret as well. Now they're going to rotate towards the top. This is going to be an even harder split for them to deal with because Wizards now going to be much greater distance apart, and they're going to continue pushing down. It is just Kerp versus Tessa, and he keeps on putting that pressure on the turret. There's not a great deal Kerp can do about it. The shockwave comes out there. They do catch a number of members of Wizards there. Dragon using the Zony's Hourglass, but will go down. Creator manages to get the kill there. They're going to dive in towards this one. They manage to get the crescendo across Matroco. Matroco is not going to go. Yes, he gets the Guardian Angel. Does manage to pop there. He can jump in here. The Cataclysm comes out, and that does manage to take him down, but Kerp picks up the kill. He's going to take down Carbono. So this will be a fight that's won by Alternate, but at what cost? They did manage to pick up a number of kills. Oh, they're going to turn it back around. Aaron is now going to get caught out. He gets taken down. It's a 2 for 2.
2 for 2 at the end of the day. Alternate started off so well. They landed the shockwave, which was great. They managed to focus down Matroco, but then they split up. They just went, hey guys, let's see where we're going to go. The fight's not over yet because they caught Carbono.
And now Kerp goes diving in. You can see he's going to be they're not going to have the shockwaves. Carbono continuing to put that damage down with that Bloodthirst. The Frontlord does finally pick up the kill, but Kerp goes down now. They're going to trade it back and forth. Tesla's going to pressure on towards him. He's got the help of Mithy. Can he chase down Frontlord? Will he manage to drop him down? Oh, he shadow dashes across. Just managed to get a little poke on it. The Glitterlance coming out from Mithy from across the map there, and if Ferello just about uses the boost of speed to get on the fountain, you're not going to catch him, Tesla lad. Give up.
So he does manage to back away, but Ultimate, you have to think, what were you guys doing? They dove so far, they dove so deep, and then ended up giving away more kills than they needed to. Tesla is just going to face tank this turret, get it down to about half, and now decide to back away. Overall, a win for Wizards because they came out pretty much even as far as kills were concerned. They retook down that middle inhibitor, and they got a lot of free damage on both the top and the bottom lane inhib turrets.
But on the other side, Alternate against the bound-up team had a pretty successful fight there. They are, of course, going to lose the Dragon now. That's going to stretch it back to a 20,000 gold lead. And just look at all the items popping into place now.
So one of the big things there about that particular fight as well is Matroco's killing streak bonus did go to Kerp. So it went to Zed, which has allowed him to finish off that Black Cleaver. At 40 minutes in the game, the only items that he has right now is Blade of the Ruined King, Black Cleaver, and a pickaxe. That is not what you want to be seeing out of your Zed, your solo laner Zed. But if he can, of course, focus down Matroco in those team fights, you can see what effect they have. You can see they're able to actually win.
Well, we'll see whether that is indeed the case. 41 minutes now, and it's 16-4, and a 20,000 gold advantage for the Wizards in game 1 against Alternate. Giants, of course, will be watching with an eagle eye over these two teams. I'm pretty sure they're going to know the Wizards, their Spanish rivals, no doubt. Very much like a hawk, but it seems to be Alternate that are up against it right now. We're starting to see those big numbers coming out from the AD carries, and this is the time where the AD carries will shine, and honestly, Matroco is a long way ahead in terms of builds.
In terms of that regard, Matroco will be shining. I'm going to be very honest, I don't think Creatin will shine quite as much. If you look at his build, he does have a Blade of the Ruined King and a Last Whisper, which are obviously going to help against the tanks, but in comparison to Infinity Edge, Bloodthirst, the Last Whisper, he's going to be dealing significantly less, you know, auto-attack damage. The benefit to his build, though, is with that Spirit of the Elder Lizard, he's going to have that, you know, damage over time, which is true damage, and the ability to zone control once he completes this gauntlet. Right now, though, it's a 4-1 split. Has worked out badly for Wizards the last time they tried it. Maybe they've learned from their previous mistakes.
Well, we can see Tesla continuing to push in the bottom left of your screen. Meanwhile, the rest of Wizards go in there. It's going to be a flash here. They're going to go in immediately, pull the Sonya's Hourglass, tried to bait it out there, but they will get the turret down. Crescendo comes across, only landed on Dragon. Here comes the Stan United. He goes straight across on towards Aranea, but they're going to take the inhibitor down, and that will be a second one for the Wizards, and putting yet more pressure on towards Alternate. They're trying to get anything from it at this one, but they can't chase down Shirelius. We're all popped there trying to chase down. Not going to happen, though, and second inhib burns.
Simply go man mode and force Alternate out of the fight. There was nothing that they could do in that engagement. They brute forced their way in, and they did it in a very intelligent way. Diana dove forward, instantly popped the Hourglass, then had the Shen teleport on top. So it was very good play. Now with both the top and the middle lane inhibitor, you know, if Alternate weren't stuck in their base already, they're still going to be for the next couple of minutes. But it does give them a lot of free farm.
Pig wards were placed in that bottom lane as well by Tesla before he went, so he kept full vision. We just saw Kerp heading up there, and they were heading straight towards him. As soon as he was like, probably not the best idea. I'm going to go back to my base and stand just by the fountain. Yeah,
go back away, just get back to safety. Spend some of the money that they've gotten. You know, just try to keep up right now. Wizards 16-4, quadruple the kills. They've still held that 20,000 gold difference. Let's be honest, Tesla is unkillable right now. With all of the items he's got, with the defensive stats and the shields, etc., he's so beefy. The third Baron of the game will spawn in 10 seconds, and Wizards will be there with a red carpet waiting to greet him and taking down their third consecutive Baron Nashor.
And of course, the tanking is right now 507 Tesla, Randian's Omen, Runic Bulwark, Sunfire Cape, Spirit Visage. He's unkillable right now. He's just a walking brick wall, and he's just, you know, hitting you with those bricks. He's just throwing them at you.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
all he's doing.
And there's nothing that you can do with the rest of his kit. He can tower dive you. We can pick fights. I mean, we see in the previous engagement he forced out the DPS of Orianna and Zed alone. It was him and Lulu versus Orianna, Zed, and I believe J.Re as well. So it was like, well, if your solo laners can't take down two solo laners, can't take down one solo laner, it says a lot about the pace of the game. Matroco's working towards most likely that Phantom Dancer. And once he picks that up, then his damage is just going to be absurdly high. And right now, Wizards are just going to brute force in and retake this middle inhibitor.
Yeah, we just saw the combo coming out from Kerp there on Tesla and did not make a single dent. Of course, this is a Shirelius team against non-Shirelius, so Wizards can run and engage whenever they choose.
And look at the pickup here from Dragon. He's picked up a Quicksilver Sash from Diana. This is an item that we don't see on Diana's at all. Oh, there's a lot of damage onto Matroco. He was forced very low. Didn't see exactly what caused that. It was the Shockwave from Pharrell, Lord.
The Shockwave did come out, but that is going to be the turret going down. So Ultimate was used by Pharrell there just off camera. As it stands, it is going to be Wizards continuing to push, of course, with that Baron. You can see immediately the regeneration, the lifesteal that he's gaining up there as he goes around, clears out the jungle. And now this final bottom inhibitor is going to be the focus of target for the Wizards. They do manage to catch on towards Pharrell there. Just a little poke. We do have this spawn in this mid lane, but again, the poke back and forward. They are going to go in. The repel comes out. Pharrell's going to get caught. He gets absolutely pancaked there. And there comes the Crescendo. Did not catch on anyone, and more importantly from J.Re. That's going to be the third inhibitor of the game going down, and Wizards, they're just going to keep pushing through.
Yeah, there's nothing that Alternate can do right now. They've lost Pharrell and Lord. All three inhibitors down. Their super minions almost at the Nexus turrets, and this incredibly strong Spanish lineup is going to pick up the first victory in the best of three. Remember, the winner will face off against Giants, and wow, Wizards, what a show.
Well, to be fair to the Wizards, they had full control throughout the game there, and they absolutely dominated the lane phase, and no surprise that they took the victory towards the end there. 25,000 gold lead by the end of that game. Absolute domination, very one-sided performance by the Wizards, and that's